Okay, so it's June in Hawke's Bay. There have been some recent increases in the cost of fertiliser that have been announced. Some of the other things that haven't probably been announced yet will be the increases in electricity rates, accountancy costs, and the general other fixed costs that go on sheep and beef farms. So what I've decided to do is just have a quick look at what impact that may have on what is already a fairly endangered industry in terms of the sheep and beef this year. Not many sheep and beef farms are actually making cash profits this year. If in fact we look at just the cost of that fertiliser increase alone, we're going to go from around $350 a tonne to between $750 and $850 a tonne. If we put that back into, and although I don't like to look at it on a stock unit basis, if we look at it as being the fact that there's about 10 ewes run on every hectare, and we're putting on about 250 kilograms of fertiliser as a maintenance dressing, it adds around about $10 per ewe more for fertiliser increase alone. If then we start to have a look at the probable increases in electricity price, rates, feed, freight, diesel, shearing, weed, vehicle costs and animal health, that will add about another $3.50 to $5 per ewe. That means somewhere between $13 and $15 a ewe more expenses this year. What we need to do therefore is look at our systems and understand how we can actually try and get around some of that cost increase. The best way to do that is to look at how your system fits, what the balance is, the balance of the feed flow, time of the year that you're actually lambing, weaning, or calving and weaning, and then selling stock. What you shouldn't be doing is listening to what the top 10% of people do, because in fact they may be running systems which are not specifically good for your own farm. So the top 10% status comes from short-term accounts analysis and doesn't come from looking at what's best in terms of sorting out feed flows for your farm and reducing costs where you can. The way that you can reduce costs is actually managing that pasture so that you're actually making the most money from it as it grows. So what's the sort of cost on a normal sheep farm at the present time? What sort of price do you need to actually keep that farm running at a profit? If we take a few assumptions, make a few assumptions here, and that is that we've got a 5,000 stock unit farm. At the moment, the costs of running that are about $50 per stock unit. So this year, that's going to go up from around $50 to $60, $65 a stock unit. If you're running a nice system already, it may only be $40 a stock unit it's costing you at the present time. It's still going to take you through to $50 or $55. If you manage to get $100 per lamb and $3.50 for beef this year, it'll leave around about $40 per stock unit for other expenses. That means your own labour, any development that you wish to do, and any sort of increase in repairs and maintenance. I've put that at around $74,000, $60,000 for your own labour input on a 5,000 hectare farm, which is about $14 a stock unit more, which leaves $30 a stock unit if you're getting $100 a lamb. If you've got 20% borrowed, and we'll assume that you've only got $3.5 million of asset, you will make about 1.5 to 1.8% on the money that you have got invested in your farm if you achieve $100 per lamb this year. Not much profit, and if you're only going to achieve 80, you're back to making no money at all again this year.